Alright, what's up? It's your boy Toph. Today we're doing a reaction vid. This is NEOM is happening, so it's construction on the line and other type of things over in Dubai. This channel is Top Luxury, and they do good breakdowns of like future architecture projects, basically. So we're gonna react to this.
The Line, Trohina, Sindala, and Oxagon. This is NEOM, Saudi Arabia's vision for the future. An advanced, sustainable, and futuristic megacity unlike any other. In October of last year, many trailers and videos about the start of its construction reached.
Yeah, there's a lot of recent footage of, as you can see, construction on the line, but hasn't been a lot of updates since. So let's continue.
Millions of people around the world. But somehow, updates regarding its current progress are difficult to find. So what exactly has been going on, and how much, if any, have they already built? Starting off with me. Hi, I'm Regis, and I've been hosting this channel for over 3.5 years.
This is the first time I've ever seen his face. Okay, let's continue.
Now, that's crazy. Together with Lewis, Freddie, and our team, who create all the videos in the background, we want to share the stories of the most impressive and sometimes even insane mega projects around the world. But why am I showing my face now? Well, we want to show you some insights behind the scenes and continue to improve our videos with each upload. So we're excited about this next step. What started out with very simple scripts and editing has now turned into actually quite a big team working on better visuals and more in-depth research for all of you guys. With Lucas, Alan, Hugh, Lydia, Daniel, and Simon that are researching and translating the videos for our German and Spanish channels as well. So thanks a lot to every single one of you for all your support on our videos. And now, here's the construction update of The Line. First announced back in 2021 by Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, The Line is by far the country's most ambitious mega project to date. It's supposed to be a self-sustaining linear city that would stretch more than 100 kilometers from the Red Sea up to about the city of Tabuk to the east. The plan for the city consists of two 500-meter tall buildings that would run parallel to each other. The vision is that everything you need is within walking distance, and the entire city will have 0 cars, 0 roads, and emit 0 emissions. Of course, an announcement like this provoked a lot of reactions, especially after drone footage of excavation work was revealed way back in October of 2022. But not much is known about the actual progress of the construction site. So, how does it look today?
Yeah.
According to the latest information, there's actually been a lot of work done on the line over the past year. In a recent exclusive interview from the project's executive director, it was revealed that construction of the vital infrastructure is estimated to be 20% complete. This includes important roads, offices, and logistic hubs necessary for future work on the site. These developments can all be seen on satellite images surrounding the entire project's length. And compared to images we've already shown from last year, there have been many substantial changes to these sites. The NEOM Community 1, for example, now looks and functions like a complete city of its own. Complete with hundreds of housing units, a school, a mosque, a post office, convenience stores, and a bus station. The community even has its own branch of Starbucks. Meanwhile, it seems that excavation work for the line's main structure has had some significant progress over the past year as well. Looking at Google Maps, you can now almost completely trace the beginning of the foundations from end to end.
It's quite impressive. This is what I had this thought recently. Well, not recently. I'd say about a year ago. I don't know, maybe a year and a half. I was just looking at architecture that's been built, and like we had the pyramids and stuff like that, and like we haven't built anything quite to like say like to show how far humanity has advanced. So like something like the Line, for example, is gonna be one of the world's biggest projects, most ambitious projects, and one of the most biggest things you'll see on the surface of the earth. So plus it's like a giant mirror, which I hope is taken in consideration of like positioning with the sun. Hopefully it's not like a giant magnifying glass type of effect. Anyways, but regardless, I don't know, it's like something that's actually like the pyramids. Like it's one of the, you know, the world's greatest architectural, if it gets complete, that is. So let's continue.
Excavation work on the coastal section known as the Hidden Marina is also well underway. Once completed, this section of the project would become the single largest marina in the entire world. It would be capable of hosting up to twice the size of even the world's largest cruise ship, the Wonder of the Seas. Currently, work on the Hidden Marina is considered to be the largest excavation project in the world. As many as 1 million cubic meters of earth are being dug up each week to make way for the construction. Aside,
we've created some artificial intelligence software. It is the first of its kind in the whole globe. Over a 2-year period, I personally invested $3 billion.
aside from the excavation that's been ongoing since last year, piling work has also commenced for the main structure. Over the past year, more than 4,500 individual piles have been installed in a section of the line known as Module 43. At its peak, more than 60 piles for the structure's foundation were installed on a daily basis. This figure is expected to increase even further as construction is set to ramp up over the next few months. Finally, the line's dedicated underground rail system known as the Spine has also...
Yeah, the underground transport systems. People have successfully done some recent ones that have been good, but like I don't know, they're harder than what I think people expect they are, just because of how the Earth moves underground.
also received some major changes. As of June 2023, the overall scope of the entire system has significantly been reduced. For one, the total length of the underground tunneling to be done has been reduced by more than 30 kilometers.
That makes
Additionally,
sense.
the total number of stations was reduced from 48 to just 9. With all this progress going on, how exactly will Saudi Arabia fund it? And which companies are involved? For one, the line, along with the rest of NEOM, is directly financed and owned by the Saudi Public Investment Fund. This is Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund, which is directly controlled by the Crown Prince. At the moment, this $700 billion sum remains the primary driver behind the constant progress. Current contracts with other companies mainly involve the excavation and foundation work. Some notable names include the Keller Group from the United Kingdom, Bauer from Germany, and the French Bachy Soletanche. Meanwhile, the state-owned construction company Power China is responsible for the current piling work being done on the marina. Finally, Italian constructor WeBuild and Saudi's own Sajco have recently been awarded the...
So there's no like major North American builders. It's mainly Middle Eastern, Asia. Interesting. Just personally, I don't know. It's like maybe there's
the contract to build a high-speed rail line that would connect the line to Oxagon. But despite all this recent and pretty significant progress, there's still many justified criticisms against the project. For one, the inherent irony with the project's promise of sustainability.
Right.
One expert from the University of New South Wales estimated that the construction of the entire city would have a total carbon footprint of as much as 1.8 gigatons of CO2. To put this into perspective, this figure alone is equivalent to more than 4 times the annual emissions of the entire United Kingdom. It's just not sustainable to stack all elements of a city vertically on this scale. Also, there are serious concerns about human rights as well. Many experts say that residents were forced to leave their villages.
Because it's so dystopian. It's this, sure, the whole city, everything is all in this thing, but then you're just there, right? What if they're like, oh, emergency system, let's lock down the line. Then you're stuck in the line for years, right? You could sustain yourself in there. Yet, it's almost a prison for yourself. Like, you see all this beautiful scenery, but then sometimes just seeing it, like, in nature, does that make sense? Anyways.
To make way for the construction site. According to the United Nations Human Rights Office, some of the protesters were sentenced to long prison terms, and 3 even face imminent risk of execution because they were sentenced to...
Yeah, I'm like on either side. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it seems like awesome and ambitious. Like, could be like something like the pyramids if it's achieved. But there's so many like what if, you know?
To death. This has definitely become a hot topic that will also affect the project itself. We will now take a look at progress on the next major development, which is Trohina, an insane luxury outdoor winter and skiing destination in the middle of a vast mountainous
This
desert.
looks a lot more achievable and actually fucking sick.
Though similar in scale and absurdity as the rest of the other projects in NEOM, one thing sets it completely apart from the others. Saudi Arabia actually has to completely finish building it in just 6 years. The reason? The upcoming Asian Winter Games in 2029.
That's ambitious, dude.
After a successful bid just last year, the kingdom was awarded the rights to host the prestigious event. The project was first announced by the Crown Prince back in 2022, just a few months before the country's successful bid for the Winter Games. Located some 50 kilometers from the Red Sea coast, Trohina is situated within one of the country's highest mountain ranges. Ever since the project was first unveiled to the public, there has been some steady progress towards its construction. Over the past year, much of the work done on Trohina is the actual excavation process around the mountains to make way for its many developments. A total of 1.6 million cubic meters of material has already been excavated at the site for the creation of a giant man-made lake at the center of the project. Progress on an area known as the Vault is also well underway. This is Trohina's vertical village, which will be dug out from the surrounding mountains. According to the project's executive director, more than 1 million cubic tons of material have already been excavated from the mountains.
The man-made lake, something about that, you know, like, if it's just gonna be sitting there, it should somehow filter water in and out of the ocean, if that makes sense. So it's not just this, like, a giant pool that has to be maintained heavily. Like, if you have it filtering like a natural lake, but it's man-made, that could actually be really, because it could be good for the environment, and you're making this giant man-made lake. Because if you have a giant man-made lake and just like it doesn't go anywhere else, the water just sits there like a lake, I guess. But like in a lake, it's still underground. Water travels, but I don't know, you know, because you're gonna let it get all like a natural lake, mossy and stuff. Probably not, because you want it to look nice, right? So if they had a lake, but it like somehow, because natural lakes look so good because they like naturally go through cycles, and then like you go see them in like spring or whatever, and you're like, oh, this beautiful lake. So there's something about a man-made lake that big. It's kind of like.
Foundation work on the future ski village has also been in progress over the past year. As it stands today, the plans for the construction seem to be very well underway, and with considerable progress in just the span of a year, Saudi Arabia seems to be committed to their very short 2029 timeline. But despite this commitment to their deadline, there are still a lot of questions that are left unanswered. One of the greatest criticisms against Trohina is the feasibility of maintaining a winter destination in such an environment. Although temperatures in the mountains can reach below freezing, snowfall is still a rare occurrence. To have enough snow for a functioning ski resort, this project would have to rely solely on artificial snow machines, which require a lot of water and electricity to
This is my thought. I've snowboarded on regular snow, or not regular, like natural snow, nice and fluffy, fresh powder, versus artificial snow. Sometimes it can be a little more like packed in, not as fluffy sometimes. That's my only complaint with artificial snow. Otherwise, it's not like the worst. I don't think it's bad for the environment because it's like what it's made out of. I'm sure some are, but anyways.
operate. All of this starts to sound even more challenging when you add the fact that seawater all the way from the Red Sea will be used for it. Not only do they have to transport all this water over great distances and elevation, they also have to desalinate it first.
No.
But now, let's get to Sindala, another major project within NEOM that's currently under construction. It's NEOM's luxury island resort destination off the city's coast. The island destination is well positioned by the Red Sea, and is accessible either by boat, seaplane, or the nearby NEOM Bay Airport. Sindala will be a world-class yachting destination, which features an 86-berth marina. The island will also be home to 3 luxury hotels, a golf course, and an array of luxury restaurants and retail outlets. First announced just in December of this past year, this major project is expected to be the very first to open within NEOM. Its developers plan to welcome the island's very first guest by as early as 2024.
Well, you can, but you
the
have to go
success of
somewhere
Sindala is actually very important to the rest of NEOM, as its opening next year will mark the very first opportunity for the public to experience what this futuristic city is all about. Given its imminent opening date, construction on Sindala is actually well underway. Looking at satellite images from Google Maps, most of the island is currently being built. Roads have already been built, and the basic layout of the buildings and foundations have already been decided. Some structures around the island...
This is the only thing about islands, too. It's just, what if the, sea levels rise substantially over the next 10 years? Right? Is it prepared for that? Hopefully.
Marina even seem to be nearing completion. Additionally, much of the grass for the planned golf course has also already been laid out. Marriott International, which has already signed an agreement to open 3 luxury hotels in Sindala, is also confident that they will be able to finish construction in time for the 2024 opening. Meanwhile, to the island's northeast, an entire community dedicated to the project's development has also been set up. This area features various offices, logistics hubs, housing units, and amenities for the people working on the site. Out of all the major developments in NEOM, Sindala seems to be the most developed one so far.
That makes sense.
We spent a lot of time researching for the latest information and also editing this very long video. So if you enjoyed this video so far, we would appreciate it a lot if you'd subscribe to Top Luxury. Finally, the 4th major project within NEOM is Oxagon, a floating industrial port city by the kingdom's west coast. To give a brief background, Oxagon is supposed to be the business and industrial heart of NEOM. It would be a port city located in one of the busiest shipping routes in the world, and serve various emerging industries such as green energy, for example. The project will also be home to the Port of NEOM, the future megacity's main industrial and logistics hub. With an investment of $2 billion, Saudi Arabia hopes to open the port's first terminal by 2025. But aside from industry, Oxagon will also serve as its own thriving city, complete with dedicated residential, entertainment...
A city based around a port. Those rather are really dope, or they can end badly, or they can be, like, kind of interesting, Anyways, let's continue.
Leisure and tourist districts. Some notable companies are looking to expand their business through this project. All these developments are set to open sometime between 2025 and 2026 as the city's very first residential community. Despite the lack of any actual news surrounding the construction, there's only been limited work done on the project. Looking at satellite images of the site, some infrastructure surrounding the port of NEOM has been built. It's worth noting, though, that some of these buildings are part of the older Duba port, which was recently transferred and renamed to the newer one. A little over to the south, an Oxagon community has also been set up, similar to those built around the Line and Sindala. Compared to the rest of NEOM, this seems to be the one with the least amount of work done. Looking at everything that's already been constructed, Saudi Arabia seems to be quite serious about turning their trailers into reality. How exactly they will turn out, though, well, we'll see in the future. I really hope you guys enjoyed this update video, and do you want to see more videos like this? Do you think NEOM's projects will become reality? Let us know in the comments right down.
Good vid. Yeah, so I don't know, Like, you think they'll actually build it? Do you think it's sustainable? A lot of questions with this. Like, is it a temporary thing? Is it gonna be sustainable? And if it is supposed to be, like, super sustainable, last for a really long time, is it going to be too dystopian? Like I said, if something happens and they're like, okay, get to the line for protection, or like people in the line are already like, okay, we're in the line, we're protected, but they have to do this lockdown thing, and it's like, and then you're living in like Blade Runner. Except you can't leave. Well, it's basically...
I did to read them for this video, that's for sure. Thank you for watching, and just like always, we'll see you in the next video.
Alright. Peace for now. He said it just like I'm going to. I'll see you in the next vid. Alright.